Welcome to That's Good Sports. I'm Brandon. If any of you ever DM me on Twitter at Brandon Perna for advice about becoming a YouTuber, I will share it like Antonio Brown and make you feel stupid for trying to better yourself in this cruel, cruel world, Perna. AB taught us all an important lesson this week. No matter how hard you work, no matter how good you get at your craft, no matter how much people respect you, the best way to shit all over that respect and earned success is to be petty. You know you messed up when TJ Hushmanzada is calling you out for some reason. Virginia won the national championship. Antonio Brown is competing with Joaquin Phoenix on towing the line between clown and genius villain, and Kyler Murray visited with the Arizona Cardinals again. I'm not sure why I mentioned college basketball. I didn't watch the game, but I fear you won't respect me if I don't say something about it. Unlike AB, I need your love. I need to know you like me. Let's discuss the drama. That's good sports. Do it. Now, none of this would be an issue if Twitter beefs were settled with slapping competitions. Yeah, that's a shameless plug for an episode on this channel I think you should check out if you haven't watched it yet. Now here's what bothers me about Antonio Brown and a lot of football players in general. They're cool giving a guy accused of rape twice, Big Ben, not to name any names, a pass, a free pass. But the second someone like JuJu Smith Schuster wants to join them in a Pizza Hut commercial, the second another teammate gets named MVP, steals a little attention, well that is an unforgivable sin. And I ain't even kidding about the Pizza Hut thing. This is a quote from ESPN. JuJu was in AB's Pizza Hut commercials. You don't think that got to Brown? ? One team source said. JuJu was coming up and that became a problem for AB. It's a Pizza Hut commercial, dude. That's the bottom tier of fast food commercials. The Chevy Cruze of commercials for food. Now, I used to make about one Antonio Brown video per year, as you can see here from this screenshot on my YouTube channel. Those videos were strictly about Antonio Brown as a football player. In the last year, I have made about 6 Antonio Brown episodes. One called Drew Brees' GOAT, but should have been titled Antonio Brown Almost Kills Baby. I didn't title it that because I hate success. And I do my best to avoid over-the-top clickbaity titles. Also because I didn't want to do AB like that. Half of the NFL news vids I've made about Brown this last year are because he was doing some dumb shit. And through it all, while making fun of his ridiculousness, I've tried to give the man the benefit of the doubt. And I think over the last year, we have learned a very important lesson: to keep your emotions off the internet. Who taught us that? Ironically, it was Antonio Brown, who then violated his own rule several times over by going after JuJu Smith Schuster, who he blamed for ruining the Steelers' season with his fumble in New Orleans. And then, I'm not sure what he was trying to do by posting this DM from 2015 of JuJu asking AB for advice while JuJu was still a wide receiver at USC. AB never responded, by the way. Sorry, Brown, you're not a woman on Twitter who has a good reason never to check her DMs. And we know you checked it because you fucking shared it. Like many people have already pointed out, AB played himself harder than a 13-year-old boy who just discovers masturbation. JuJu came off looking humble and respectful, and AB came off looking like a finalist for the biggest douche in the universe award. And if he takes that away from Tom Brady, I will never, ever forgive him. I think Brown actually realized that as well because he deleted his post soon after. Texans corner Justin Reed chimed in on Twitter. I respect his game, but I can't wait to smash this dude. Laughing emoji. No need for that. To which Eric Weddle also replied, no need for that. Showing true colors right here. No respect for this dude. To be honest, this is probably not as bad as pissing off all of the refs who will actually get to decide if Justin Reed and Eric Weddle can lay him out over the middle. If I'm AB, I would definitely send Sean Hockey some flowers or some dumbbells, which is probably more appropriate for the Hockey and get on the good side of the zebras. Like when the lions get on the good side of the zebras in nature and team up to kill the humans for fun. Do we think Antonio Brown is well? Between the furniture tossing, the mustache dyeing, the speeding tickets, the willfully joining the Raiders, and the one-sided feud with his good-natured teammate, I'm not convinced that Antonio is the picture of sanity right now. Maybe put the phone away, unless you're using it to call a psychiatrist. Or at the very least, WebMD your symptoms. Maybe call the good folks at EA Sports and ask them to remove you from the Madden 19 cover. The dumbest thing about Antonio Brown acting like an ass on social media is that more people focused on that this week than they did on the progress Ryan Shazier is making with his recovery from a spinal injury. Here he is doing a box jump, which is amazing considering he couldn't walk last year. But this does just make Shazier another statistic. He's just another man with a spinal injury who is more athletic than me. I didn't say it was a bad statistic, just a statistic. Maybe Antonio Brown wants to be a villain. It wasn't enough for the Steelers fans and Bills fans to hate him. He wants the whole league to hate him. He needs everybody rooting against him so he has power. I don't think he's dumb enough not to know what he's doing, but I'm not sure he's smart enough to be intentionally creating a persona less likable than some of the worst villains of all time. Kingpin, Joffrey, and of course Grumpy Bear from the Care Bears. What are you mad at, Grumpy? You live in the kingdom of caring, and you're the only one who manages to not fucking care, Grumpy!
Was I really that bad?
You were worse.
The Cardinals met with Kyler Murray and his agent yesterday. I guess that was a second meeting, which means Murray to Arizona seems like a lock. That's probably good for Kyler, because if the Cardinals didn't take him, the Raiders are the next most likely team to grab him, and I just don't think Murray would be able to handle Antonio Brown right now. That's not even a joke. Murray can barely handle interviews with softball questions. What would he do when Brown starts posting the dick pics Murray sent him in college? Did I say dick pics? I'm sorry. My brain's just always in the gutter. I meant advice about playing baseball instead of football. Besides never accepting a drink from Cardi B, the thing I have learned from the internet is you never win when you respond to haters poorly. I know I never feel good when I respond to a shitty comment with an even shittier one in return. And I'm not that successful. If I were really successful, I'd feel worse for saying something mean to someone who probably doesn't have it as good as me. Right now, when people talk shit here in the comments, which thankfully is a small minority, like Kyler Murray, we're on equal ground. Like if you talk shit to me, it's the same as if you talk shit to a coworker at, say, an accounting firm. Like I'm the professional level of an accountant. I'm above no one. Antonio Brown is king of the fucking mountain. He's living a life of success only the smallest percentage of the human population will ever taste. I don't think he realizes how good he has it, to echo the words of Larry Fitzgerald. I feel like Brown sees JuJu Smith climbing that mountain, and instead of extending him a hand like Stallone in Cliffhanger, he cuts his fucking rope so he can free solo El Capitan's 900-meter vertical rock face all by himself. Free Solo is a badass documentary, and I say that as someone who started watching it thinking it was the newest Star Wars movie. Pleasantly surprised. I watched Antonio Brown on LeBron James' The Shop on HBO. He gave off a weird vibe then, and he's been giving off a weird vibe for basically a year.
It's the ego. I don't have an ego because, bro, I'm just trying to win.
And just like Grumpy Bear, it's a fucking lie.
Man, these guys run around just doing anything to just make a buck.
Here's what's kind of crazy. I don't really think Antonio Brown is a bad guy. I think he's had a bad year, said some dumb shit. And I hope he redeems himself, which, let's be honest, is going to be nearly impossible to do in a Raiders uniform. It's like a glutton trying to go on a diet at an all-you-can-eat buffet. I think AB's already doing PR damage control on this whole thing, as this SI video of him playing with his kids on Twitter would suggest that came out today. You think that timing is a coincidence? No, but I think in a way, Brown knows he messed up. Still too much of an ego for a straight apology.
I don't have an ego.
But maybe this is the start down the path of redemption. Or maybe he's playing us all like fiddles before he launches his master attack like Bane in The Dark Knight Rises. Oh dear God, is that who Antonio Brown modeled his Lego haircut after? Okay, yes, I am reaching, but don't be surprised if Antonio Brown shares his DMs with Dark Knight Rises director Christopher Nolan, criticizing him for using Hines Ward in the movie and not AB. It's hard for football fans to remember not every player cares about winning.
Bro, I'm just trying to win.
But I think now, more than ever, we do understand players get shafted by the NFL financially, and they need those second contracts to be set for life to take care of their families. What makes this shit even dumber though, is AB already got his payday. He got a massive contract in 2017, so the only thing missing from his repertoire is winning a Super Bowl. He has the stats, he has the money, but he doesn't have a ring. A guy like JuJu gives him a better chance to win a Super Bowl, but AB is too blind to see that. Which I actually understand. It's why I hate Kyle Brandt's show on the NFL Network. It's why I hate Katie Nolan's show. Even though they almost hired me to be a writer for her, I hate Dave Damechek's show, everyone at Barstool not named PFT or Big Cat, anyone on Big Bang Theory, not football related, it's just a show that sucks. I hate all of those fuckers due to jealousy. But I wouldn't hate them if I was making more money than them and had higher ratings than them, Antonio. I think AB still has that underdog mentality. He's made it, but he doesn't know how to turn it off, which turns fan admiration into disgust. It's almost like we've seen this before.
You know, everyone thinks we suck and
we're still here!
We suck.
We're still here!
We suck.
We're still here!
Woo! Antonio, you need to take a look in the mirror. I'm talking about the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. You'll never get better advice from a pedophile in your life, Antonio Brown. Thanks for watching another episode of That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube. Please, if 1 million people subscribe, I promise to make Antonio Brown look like a saint. Not a NOLA saint, a real life saint. I will bury him with my insanity. I'm on Twitter, Instagram at Brandon Perner, and follow my writing partner at WillKey6 on Twitter as well. Thank you.